Welcome. Part of our continuing discussion, we were able to talk to Professor Adam Waytz of Northwestern Kellogg University. He's a professor of management and organizations. We were only able to get one question answered, but again, it's a pivotal one. So let's get right to it. Adam Waytz, professor of management and organizations at Northwestern Kellogg University. And he is the Morris and Alice Kaplan Chair in Ethics and Decision Management, the Professor of Management and Organizations, Professor of Psychology, Weinberg College of Arts and Sciences, as a courtesy, and a Chair of Management and Organization Department at Northwestern Kellogg. Professor and a psychologist in the Kellogg School of Management, who studies how people think about minds. He looks at how people think about other minds, technology, and ethics. I ran into him from this. There's a book called Social Psychology of Political Polarization. And it has many chapters in it. And one of them is called Ideological Differences in the Expanse of Empathy. And it was partly written by Adam Waytz. And that's the one that I reached out to him for. This came out in 2016, about 7 years ago. And here's what it said. The American political landscape of the 21st century has largely been characterized by culture wars between liberals and conservatives. On policy issues as diverse as economic regulation, defense spending, abortion, marriage equality, and healthcare, ideological differences have become increasingly pronounced, as reflected in political legislation, public opinion, and news coverage. Some professors would disagree with him on differences on those issues of public opinion. Much of the recent political psychology has indeed focused on explaining ideological differences in terms of cognition, perception, motivation, behavior, and psychological ability. Other empirical research that has employed measures of general empathy and measures of political ideology also shows that liberalism is correlated with self-reported empathy. Empirical research has also examined the association between empathic concern and social dominance orientation, SDO, an individual difference variable that reflects the endorsement of social hierarchy and that is also typically associated with political conservatism. Conservatives and their tendencies toward closure, order, and stability should expand empathy towards smaller, more well-defined, and less permeable social circles. So liberals generally have more self-reported empathy. Conservatives have more of an interest in order and stability and control. And if we want to improve political division, conservatives should develop some more empathy. Roughly, that's what this is saying. And it would be a way, social psychology of political polarization, ideological differences in the expanse of empathy. So why do we have a lack of empathy in politics, and who does it come from? Primarily from the right, but a little bit on the left, although the left seems to be better at empathy. So he wrote this chapter in 2016, and I asked him, do you think political polarization is worse now than when you wrote your book in 2016? Yes, I do. At least based upon this data. What is that data? Yes, I do, at least based upon this data. Partisan hostility grows, signs of frustration within the two-party system, August 9th, 2022. So he's looking at a Pew Research study from last year showing that partisan hostility is growing in the two-party system and people becoming more frustrated. Because of that, he believes that polarization is significantly worse now in 2023 than it was in 2016 when he wrote this book. So in the last 7 years, party polarization has become much worse, according to this expert on political polarization. And he points to this article by Pew showing that the frustration is going with the two-party system to levels never before seen. So another data point, another researcher who studied polarization saying it is definitely worse now than it was just a few years ago, and pointing to real data to make that conclusion. We'll leave it there.